Okay, so that second riff there was kind of a rip-off, but it's going to lead into who I'm going to talk about next. Hey everybody, my name's Chris, and this is my audio obsession. So, to start off, well, I'm going to get rid of this and get right in there. Now put on some tunes, which doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what I'm talking about. It's just a great band, great album. Get that going. And if you can hear it, that would be the mighty Saint Vitus. Absolutely fantastic album. I'm a huge Wino fan. Absolutely huge Wino fan. Anyways, on to what I have. So, this first record that I'm going to show you, I got way back in '94. Not this particular one. The first CD that I got. Back in '94, '95-ish, somewhere around there. Of course, at my favorite CD store. And it just happened to be in the used section because this one had a hole punched through it, so it was like a promotional copy, so they couldn't sell it brand new. And you were allowed to listen to CDs before you bought them. I listened to it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. This style of music is probably one of my all-time favorites. It's hard to put a favorite on anything because I love everything I listen to and play. But this particular style of music is just an absolute favorite of mine. So when this album came out, the genre was already on a roll. So this style of music was starting, say, 1990, and then started to progress and build as an actual genre, which was the melodic death doom genre. This album, it came out while it was already in motion, but the songwriting and the melodies and everything that's on this particular record is, like, for me, it's top notch. It's probably one of my absolute favorites of this genre of music. That would be Enchantment. And it's Dance the Marble Naked. See that? And we'll go to the back there. So, funny enough, I just so happen to be friends on social media with the guitarist in this band, which would be Mark G with a C. So, when I initially had this album, my promo copy on CD, I had a CD player, I don't know, maybe a year or two after that I had bought, and it took a crap. CDs were stuck inside, the drawer was locked, it was like a multi-disc change or something like that. So of course, I have to send it back to the company for warranty. And I made damn sure to say, listen, I have CDs stuck in there and I need them back. I can't just go to the store and get these particular CDs that are in there because you cannot find them. Okay, fine. Probably about a month or so later, when I finally get it back, all repaired, where's my CDs? What CDs, they ask. The ones specifically I put on the work order saying that they were stuck in the CD player. Of course, they're gone, long gone forever. I had a couple others in there too. So I had empty cases now, and I was pissed off beyond belief. I'm very particular with my music and my CDs and stuff, and just I've got a possession issue where I have them and, you know, they're mine. Long gone forever. Anyway, so I have waited for years and years to get my hands on it again, and I just so happen to now have it on vinyl. So this one was reissued in 2019, Cosmic Key Creations. Initially, when it came out first, they were on Century Media, which at that time in the 90s, for bands like this, that's freaking huge. What a big freaking label to get onto for a band just, you know, coming out. They had, I believe it was a demo in 93 prior to this. But then, of course, after this album, for whichever reasons, they ended up breaking up. But I did see that Mark had mentioned something about the band kind of getting back together, so hopefully another new album coming out. So for anybody who does not know this band or the melodic death doom genre, I would classify them in the same genre as like early Anathema, early My Dying Bride, Tiamat, like when their album Clouds came out. Like, this album it's not sitting in the shadows of any of them. For me personally, this album is sitting out in the forefront. And I could only imagine what could have come out from this band had they just kept going. But whatever, shit happens. And so hopefully, Mark, if you're watching this, I would love a new album. And moving on here, now we've got a slightly different direction, a little more, well, we'll just say straightforward death metal. So this band here, I know a handful of you have been showing on social media. I know I found out through, I believe Liam, the Death Doom Metalhead, a while back when he actually showed a CD version of this album. And of course, what surprised me is after that I went looking for them, and sure as shit, they practically live in my backyard, probably about an hour away from me or so. And that was my first time hearing from them, so I had to get information from the UK to find out about a band that practically is in my backyard. Whatever, either way, I found out about them and I'm extremely glad. And that would be Parallax Occlusion. See that? And the album is Exponential Decay. And I don't know if you can see that here. I was lucky enough that the band would sign it for me. So this band, from what I gather, is two people. On their Bandcamp page, it lists a third person for vocals. So you would have XE, XT, and then XI. That's what they go by. So this, of course, here, look at that logo here. It's one of those pictures that if you stare at it and cross your eyes, I think you might get to see what the band's name is. Anyway, so this band, this is an EP here. This band, holy hell. Heavy as all hell. This is pretty much what death metal should sound like, especially in this day and age right now. This is exactly what death metal should sound like. These guys are extremely technical. They've got great doomy passages, cavernous vocals, riffing like crazy. Riffs galore on this thing. For me, also, when I'm listening to it, I actually get like a nod towards, I think it's more the structure, not necessarily they sound like it, but Deathspell Omega really comes to mind, with where they've got something leading up and then they just go full force blasting, and absolutely fantastic. So the hype is definitely true with this record, with people posting about this. This is fantastic. I actually just pre-ordered. They got another new one that they've got, a new pre-order, so if you check out the Bandcamp page, get on that. Of course, this came out through Blood Harvest, if you can see that there. And Blood Harvest has got like a plethora of really kick-ass bands that they're putting out. This particular one came with like, I guess like an OBI strip, whatever. So it showcases some other bands that they got up in there that you can pick up. And then this talks about this band. There's two of the members right there. And so, what are they labeled as? Death metal for death metal maniacs by death metal maniacs. 100% true. Blood Harvest is putting out some fantastic stuff. So next, this album here. So I was listening to, at work, I listened to Spotify. I put my headphones on and I just go to work. And I'll pick a specific album. And then from there, Spotify will do its usual thing. It'll just start suggesting stuff. So this came up as a suggestion. And I was just about to leave work, so I paused it and got in my truck. And now I'm headed out on the highway home. So when I started playing it, it was just an absolute oral assault. Now, it was a nice day out. I had the windows down and I'm sitting there going, what is going on here? I had to roll all the windows up and crank it up just to catch what I'm listening to here, because there was some absolute crazy stuff going on here. So this one is a repress. I believe the album came out in 2002, I think. Yeah, I think so. So this was put out on Osmos Productions. Came out last year. This would be an Australian band, Sadistic Execution. And my girls are watching, so I won't repeat what the album title's called. Look at that cover. That is such a cool cover. And actually, this cover was done by a band member. So, like I said, this thing is an absolute moral assault. It's from start to finish absolutely crazy. It's completely nuts. There's stuff that's got me laughing. Lots of choice words in here. Lots of foul language. But absolutely incredible. When I heard it, I had to get a copy. So I've searched and found the copy of this album. And like I said, it is just absolutely insane. So the best way to describe this band, here, I'll show you. This is the inner sleeve that the record sits in. Back there. Now, the best way to describe this record, and actually the band in general, is if you could describe music in the form of a seizure. Just a seizure. Picture that. That is what this album to me sounds like, is a musical seizure. It would be amazing to see these guys doing this live and actually performing start to finish an album. I don't know what they got to take to be on to do this, but anyways, look at here, kind of a translucent, red, pinkyish, depends on what kind of light you got it in. But yeah, absolute insane album. So if you're looking for something, now, not just noise, they've got some pretty cool riffs in there, but blistering speeds, absolute blistering speeds. So if you're in a mood for a whole lot of anger and noise, this is definitely going to be a record you're going to want to put on. So now, this next album, hopefully I won't take a beating on this one. So when I found out a while back that this particular band was putting out a new album, I went searching for either sound clips or whatever, but I actually first off came across a review. Now this review was a group of guys talking about this particular album, and it was a complete flop to them. They tore this thing a new, you know what, start to finish. They absolutely brutally ripped this album apart, basically labeling it as either a complete joke, one, or two, a masterful piece of work from a band trying to get out of contractual obligations with a record label. I'm not sure. So when I heard all the bad stuff on this album, I had to check it out. And sure enough, I'm listening to it, and the stuff that they're pointing out, word for word, I'm going, wow, they're right. I'm extremely surprised, because this is like a big heavy-hitting band of the death metal genre. Well, anyways, enough talking. I'm going to just show you the album. So, 6 Feet Under. Nightmares of the Decomposed. So, why did I pick it up? Because of the review that I watched. I kept listening to it, especially, okay, so Chris Barnes' vocals, I would say maybe mid to just beyond, maybe around 08-ish, I started noticing his vocals were starting to go downhill. So, you know what, in the 2000s, bands of this style genre were starting to realize that drinking, partying, and playing loud music, that's what metal, rock, that's why that all came together, right? People having fun. But they realized that, you know what, this is my life, my livelihood, so I want to take care of it. So people started taking care of themselves, you know, like not drinking themselves to a stupor and, you know, really taking their stuff seriously, because, you know, this is their babies and they're also paying the bills with this stuff. So you want longevity. And I'm sure when metal was going hard in like the 80s, 90s, even up 2000s, people in these bands were not thinking that I'm going to have a long career doing this. This is just something I love to do and make noise and, you know, have a hell of a time. Watch people, you know, climbing all over each other in the pits. But when they started realizing that, you know what, there's some substance to this stuff and I need to keep it going because this is my career. So this is kind of where I think Chris Barnes didn't really kind of jump on the train with this one. He kind of stayed, nope. I like to smoke, and I'm gonna. So his vocals kind of, man, they're rough. They are rough. Like, it's like he's having a real hard time trying to do it. Like, he's got no growls left in him whatsoever. The smoking that he's done, it's ruined his pipes. And I'm sure even the vocal style, doing this for years and years now. Like, he's been doing singing for quite some time, but he just didn't quite take care of his vocals. So it's like, it sounds like somebody's father who's, you know, had a few beers, he comes down, listens to what his kids are listening to, and then he tries to recreate the vocals, and you know, he just can't do it. This really does sound like somebody who smoked way too much. His voice is having so much trouble trying to stay together. But I've been listening to it over and over again, and I can't stop listening to it. I absolutely can't stop listening to it. The album is full of groove. It's full of good writing. I know his vocals are a bloody mess, but now I'm enjoying it. I've listened to it so much that I don't see it as a mess anymore. It's like, no, nobody sounds like that. That's his voice, so I can't stop listening to it now. It's a good album. Now, this was done, of course, clearly over the pandemic or whatever, so I mean, for me, listening, there are some issues. There's like songs that seem to be cut and paste, like the members were not in the same room when this was done. The production on it, like, there's a couple songs here that just don't sound as high in the volume as others, so it just kind of, it does sound like a hodgepodge. Let's just kind of throw this together. But I mean, like, Jack Owen, he's a fantastic guitarist, and he's doing some killer stuff on here. And there is really catchy riffs on here, like Zodiac, Amputator, The Noose, like all these songs on here. They're really, really catchy, fantastic leads. Like, Jack Owen is definitely an amazing guitarist. I don't know, like this one song, Blood of the Zombie. So, of course, you got the lyrics. I'm following along with the lyrics. And in the first verse, so, yeah, I'm following along, and then all of a sudden, Barnes's verse ends. But the song's still going as if, you know, you're supposed to be singing. What happened here? So it's just, there are weird moments. There's songs that just kind of end, and you're like, okay, what just happened? But I don't know, I can't stop listening to it. So here, I'll show you, this is like, I know, hard to see. It's the insert, it's got all the lyrics in there. Not really much to see on that. Let's see what we got here for the actual vinyl itself. So also within this one came a poster, a nice full-size poster of the cover, which is cool. I'm definitely going to be putting it up. I'm going to move my guitar room to a different location, so I'm going to end up, I'll put some more stuff up that I've been kind of like letting hang around because I really wasn't, the room up here is not my, anyways, doesn't matter, whatever. Metal Blade, I really appreciate the sleeves that you guys are doing, especially with the poly. They put some nice labels on it. These guys are doing it right. I love sleeves with a poly insert in it. Makes a world of a difference trying to get the record out. Not only that, but the static, the dust. I wish everybody did it. Obviously there's a cost involved, but anyways. So this one's kind of on like a little bit of a pink, oh, it's hard to see there. The bloody light. See if you can catch it. Pink, swirly, creamy, whatever. So, even though I've seen a lot of people, you know, really kind of crapping on this, I like it. So, whatever. I bought it. It's mine. Moving on. This would be my last album I'm going to show. So, okay, for the year 2021, this is album of the year for me right at this moment, and has been for a little bit, couple months now. So this band has been out for a while. You may remember a member by the name of Rob Barrett, who joined Cannibal Corpse, but prior to Cannibal Corpse, one of his bands that he started was Solstice. And this would be their new album that just came out this year, Casting the Die. And this is on Emancipation Records. Emancipate, yeah, whatever. So these guys were, when they started off back in the 90s, they were like a thrash death band. Death thrash. 100%. Really, really riffy, fantastic. When I caught wind that they were coming out with a new record, I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a listen, and I found it on, where did I hear it? I believe on a Bandcamp page. I can't remember, it doesn't matter. And I absolutely fell in love with it. This album is pure thrash, not death thrash, but absolute a thrash killer album. Fantastic. The riffs on here are catchy as all hell. The vocals, nice harsh vocals. Man, drums. The bass, you can hear the bass on the album. Through the whole album, And that's what I used to love a lot about, say, early 90s thrash bands, is that they made the bass audible. Because the bass player is doing some pretty fantastic stuff back here. And I hate when you end up losing, you know, an instrument like that to the background. But absolute killer album. These guys are technical as hell. You can tell listening to this album that these guys are veterans of the genre, because the riffs are just, they're insane. Absolutely insane riffs. Fantastic musicianship on this album. One song that really stands out to me too, especially talking about the bass player, is Who Bleeds Whom on the first side here. There's a bass solo in there, absolutely killer. Killer freaking bass solo. It's just unbelievable. And funny enough, on this album, there's a guest appearance, not on that song in particular, but a guest appearance by Tony Choi. And anybody who knows Tony Choi from, say, the likes of Atheist, Atheist being a top favorite band of mine, Unquestionable Presence is like, it's up there as one of my favorite albums of all time. So, now mind you, the bass player on the album here, that would be Marcel Salas. Killer bass player, unbelievable. And then, of course, to bring in Tony Choi as a guest, Rob Barrett actually did some guest vocals on this album as well. But killer. The guitar work, like I said, unbelievable. The leads, the melodies in the leads, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So right now, it's going to take a lot to push this one off the top list, because right now it is 100% album of the year for me. So that right there is going to be it for my, well, I guess this was an update of, you know, recent stuff that I got. Some recent stuff. Anyways, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I will try not to, you know, do any more guitar playing, because I don't think you really want to hear any of that. Going back to that second riff, Mark, I hope you don't mind me stealing it. I'm sure it wasn't played, you know, exact or anything, but that riff right there is, that to me defines that genre of music. Having this kind of evil, dark music in the background, but having layered on top of it beautiful melodies. It's almost as if you had a song that had a nice piano melody playing, but here we're doing it with guitars, and you're taking something that's like kind of dark, depressive, or evil, and then you're adding that beauty to it. 100%, like, that's my favorite stuff. Absolutely. If I could get back into playing in a band again, I would definitely gravitate towards that. It's between that or like stoner rock or stoner doom, but I'd really like to go that way anyways. Hard finding people in my area like that, and plus I'm really not a professional. I just pretend I know what I'm doing. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and yeah, like, subscribe, comment if you got anything interesting to say, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.